So we were right again. Mark Zuckerberg has now openly admitted that Facebook did in fact censor all of us during the pandemic. Go figure, it's almost like we knew this was happening, and then we're censored from saying it. So in a letter to Jim Jordan in the United States House of Representatives, Mark Zuckerberg has said that the Biden administration directed them to shut down stories and misinformation about the COVID-19 pandemic, saying the following. And pardon if I am not looking at the camera during this, I do have to read it. In 2021, senior officials from the Biden administration, including the White House, repeatedly pressured our team for months to censor certain COVID-19 content, including humor and satire, and expressed a lot of frustration with our teams when we didn't agree. Ultimately, it was our decision whether or not to take content down, and we own our decisions.
We're sorry.
Including COVID-19 related changes we made to our enforcement in the wake of this pressure.
We're sorry.
I believe the government pressure was wrong, and I regret that we were not more outspoken about it.
We're sorry.
I also think that we made some choices that, with the benefit of hindsight and new information, we wouldn't make today.
Sorry.
Like I said to our teams at the time, I feel strongly that we should not compromise our content standards due to pressure from any administration in either direction. And we're ready to push back if something like this happens again. Now, here's the thing. The government pressuring social media is a violation of First Amendment rights. Blatant, plain and simple.
It's illegal.
Here's the thing. Social media platforms, as private entities, can have their own content policies. Of course they can, when they're acting in a private capacity. The problem is that the Biden administration was directing them to do these things and telling them and pressuring them to, censor people.
We did it, Joe.
But not only that, no, they were also contacted by another organization.
Who?
I wonder what organization this could be. It is a 3-letter agency. Which one? Oh, yes, it is the FBI. Because of course it is. Once again, I am going to read. In a separate situation, the FBI warned us about a potential Russian disinformation operation about the Biden family and Burisma in the lead up to the 2020 election.
Was those damn green Russians?
That fall, when we saw a New York Post story reporting on corruption allegations involving then Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden's family, we sent that story to fact-checkers for review and temporarily demoted it while waiting for a reply.
We're sorry.
It's since been made clear that the reporting was not Russian disinformation, and in retrospect, we shouldn't have demoted the story.
We're sorry.
We have changed our policies and processes to make sure this doesn't happen again. For instance, we no longer temporarily demote things in the US while waiting for fact-checkers. Once again, I'm going to put that in quotes. So once again, not only did Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg just admit that they censor people over the pandemic and even jokes, satire, obvious things, whole Babylon Bee, let's be real, we know what went on. But they also admitted that they suppressed the Hunter Biden laptop scandal. Because of course they did.
Sorry.
But here's the thing. Once again, this is the government influencing social media, telling them, hey, this thing, yeah, it's a lie. Believe us, because we've never lied before.
Bullshit.
I really had to try to say that with a straight face. It was really hard. As you could see, Mark Zuckerberg is super sorry, right? Super, super duper sorry.
I'm deeply sorry.
Whoever made the call to suppress or censor should be in prison right now.
Jail.
Jail?
And to be perfectly honest, I don't really believe Mark Zuckerberg's apology. Here's the thing. Words without action mean nothing. My cat just sneezed. Words without action mean nothing. Now, in this letter, they did say that they are changing their policy around, making it so then things like this won't happen again. While they've openly admitted that yes, they did censor these things, and yes, they did suppress this story, this does beg the question of how many other things they have engaged in censorship with.
If they're hiding this, what else are they hiding?
Has Facebook engaged in censorship elsewhere about other politicians or other political action groups or anything else? What else have they been directed to hide from us? The problem here is that government and social media should never touch unless there is a crime that has already occurred.
We touch tips.
For instance, if somebody posted on Facebook them holding up a bunch of dead bodies, then yes, they should notify the police because there's a dude holding up dead bodies. Cool. Glad we got that covered. And of course, particularly pertaining to something like the pandemic or the whole laptop story, they shouldn't be involved whatsoever. Open debate and deliberation is how things are handled in this country. And if we can't have that, well, then we might as well be England. Need I say more? For this, I'm going to believe it when I see it. And I currently haven't seen anything to the contrary, nor have I heard anything to the contrary. All I have ever seen are people that I know and people that I do interact with getting banned from both Facebook and Instagram for either opinions that they find uncouth or firearms content or still the whole misinformation thing. The problem with fact checkers is they're people. And facts change in news a lot because what ends up happening is the initial run of the story and then all the corrections follow. This is why you can't have true fact checking until like many years later. And even then it's still propagandized.
Lies, all lies!
Now, Zuckerberg has said that he's not going to be donating to either side of the political debate this time around. Whether or not that's true, well, that should be something we can check in on. You know, open secrets, where money's moving. We can check those things. I believe Mark Zuckerberg about as much as I believe a prostitute that tells me that the reason that she's all bumpy down there is because she shaved.
He did not just... Did you just say that?
And as with everything, let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm going to post the articles about this down below because I did show the stuff here, but I would also like you guys to be able to actually read the full statement as well as everything else about it. And as always, make sure to check out my second channel. I've got another new video up there. It's fantastic. It's about a gerbil. He goes on a special adventure. Have a good one.